see homes and condos, subsidized housing being built, but you don't even have a job. And you're wondering, well, who are they building this for? This is my community. Who are they building it for? Who's going to live there? Stevie Wonder can see who's going to live there. But I promise you that I, Diane Wesley Smith, with all the strength that God gives me and all the people that I can organize, and I've been doing community organizing since before I was the first director at the Bayview Opera House in San Francisco, here in San Francisco. And I'm a fighter. I thought I was going to retire, but I've been reactivated. And we're going to have a call to arms. So start thinking about that, because it's time to stand up. So citizens, it is time to stand up for equitable distribution. Equitable distribution means some for you, some for me, some for he, some for she. Equitable distribution of monies and opportunities. Everyone doesn't want to become a plumber, an electrician, a nurse, a doctor, but this is America, and we have the ability to make our own choices. However, let me tell you from experience, I've been fighting for 4 years. When I first started, I said, wow, this is great. Look at all this economic opportunity in Bayview Hunters Point. There was opportunities for electricians, carpenters, plumbers, for everyone but real estate agents. Now imagine that. All this improvement is going to happen as a result of housing construction, and there are no real estate agents from the community at the table. Well, you know what that means. You know my saying. If you're not at the table, you're probably on the menu. You're probably on the menu, my brothers and sisters. And that is not acceptable. That is not the American way, and we will fight. Right now, if you don't know the right people, or if you're not clicked in to smile at the right time, I'm going to tell you right now, I don't smile at the right time if someone else dictates it's the right time. And I know in my hearts of hearts that it isn't. Someone just said to me outside, they said, Diane, you're a broker and you're fighting against this housing development. Well, all money is not good money. I am fighting so that people who want to work and who want to remain in their homes and who want to own a home can have that opportunity in the city in which they were born, or the city in which they moved to, or they desire to live in. And, let this harsh reality motivate you to stand up for your rights and for the rights of your children. Stand up. That means getting involved. Have you read the Declaration of Independence lately? You know what? It's a fabulous document. And I kid you not. I believe in the American flag. I believe in the Constitution. I believe in the Declaration of Independence and the Bill of Rights. Because within those documents contain your rights. We as Americans are entitled to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. The Declaration of Independence is such an empowering document. When you embrace the fact that they're talking about you. They're talking about you and me. It's an empowering document. There's no way you can read the Declaration of Independence and comprehend it and not be prepared to stand and fight for what you believe in. Now, when I say fight, I mean fight not in the way we fought in the 60s. I mean fighting and taking time to show up and being present. Mind, body, soul, and spirit, and keeping your integrity intact. I mean fighting against corruption. I mean keeping the big pockets, not getting into the big pockets, not selling your soul. So if you haven't read the Declaration of Independence, or if you haven't read it in a while, I suggest that you read it and take it to heart and plant it here, because it's for you. You're entitled, the document, the Declaration of Independence says that you're entitled to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. What is happiness to you? What is happiness to you? Speaking of fighting for what we believe in, How much time do we devote monthly to make a difference in anything? To make the world a better place? Like Michael said, I'm starting with the man in the mirror. Well, I started with the woman in the mirror some time ago. You see, I'm even getting gray hair. I love it. Because you have to live long enough to get gray. And that's what I want. I want all of us to have the ability to live long enough to get gray and become happy and blossom with age. Now it's time to fight for what's right. And let's talk a little bit about, not a little bit, but we're going to spend the remaining time talking about healthcare reform. This cannot be done without taking time, first of all, to stand for anything that you believe in. You have to do step one. What is step one? Step one is to take the time. Because you know what? You know, we never have the time. There's always something we can do. There's always something that comes up. So we have to take the time. We have to seize the moment. And getting President Obama elected, that was only the beginning. Now's the time to fight for what is right. And at the top of the list is health care. This cannot be done without taking time. Again, back to step one. When is the last time you attended a Board of Supervisors meeting? A Board of Supervisors meeting in San Francisco will let you know what's going on and who is really for the people and who isn't. The next meeting will be held at City Hall on Tuesday, September the 15th, 2009. And your homework is to find out what time does the meeting start? Because we've got to get up and get down, my people. I tell you, this is a wonderful time for change. Yes, some things are hard, but you know what? If it doesn't break you, it makes you stronger. And I've gotten so many no's, I'm strong. And I'll take the next no. Every no gets you closer to a yes. Your assignment is to find out when the next meeting is and to attend. And if you can't attend, tell someone about it. To whom much is given, much is required. If you're in good health, you're wealthy and you have much because you can get up and go when you want to. If you're healthy, you can take the time to attend the meeting. You know, 2 weekends ago, we spent all day Saturday and all day Sunday in Stockton at a healthcare reform action. And the healthcare reform action is so we could come back and show people how to fight for healthcare reform. Not one American should be without healthcare. And let me say, how many of you again know exactly, let me ask, how many of you know exactly why President Obama is asking for healthcare reform? Do you know what the healthcare reform is? It's real simple, folks. Don't believe the hype. First one is affordable healthcare. Affordable quality health care. Second is, if you like the health care you have, you can keep it. But if you don't, you can choose another one. And the third one is, every American citizen will have health care. It's very simple, with a strong public option. Now, what is a strong public option? Strong public option means that when you start choosing your health care plan, and if you don't have any money, then those of us that have some, share with you. That is how it is supposed to work. And that is how, with God, if God continues to give us strength, that's how it's going to work. My husband and I, we have a PPO. If we go to the doctor, any medication that we get costs $1. We can see any physician that we choose. But just because, so those of us that have, we fight for those that don't have. My 40-year-old son, though, he doesn't have health insurance. And, you know, he's one of over 47 million people. 47 million Americans that don't have quality health care insurance. Let me tell you a little bit about my nightmare healthcare story. But before I do, I might not have time to get to that because I forgot to tell you that, you know, when I was a little girl growing up in the housing projects at 45 West Point Road in Hunters Point in San Francisco, we went to the city clinic and we went to the city dentist, which were both at 101 Grove at that time. We didn't know that people had insurance and that they had their own doctors that they could see and their own dentist and why we were going to get teeth pulled. Well, my mother, God rest her soul, she went back to school and changed our lives. My healthcare story, well, let me just tell you this. My healthcare nightmare was when my son contracted leukemia as a result of growing up in Bayview Hunters Point, which is a super fun site. We're going to have to get all over that at another point. about the Superfund site and how the money should be spent, and the construction being for housing construction for a human being